What is up everyone, and welcome back to a brand new My Team Journey video for part 6. Now the last race, it was Spain, and we did pretty well considering we were stuck in the DRS train, which was really annoying, but it is what it is. We managed to get P8, which was a good haul of points for us. And the next one is going to be Azerbaijan, which is a track that I personally like. It's been on the calendar since 2016, and that should be a good one. So we're sorting out some of the activities, and I did have an upgrade to sort out because I think it failed at one point. No, I don't know, I wasn't looking fully. So we went to sort out the components to switch to these slightly oldish ones. I didn't want to go full old because they will lose a bit of power on the straight, which is not ideal to have. So we're pressed forward in time, getting all these activities out of the way, and these upgrades that will hopefully go on in time for the car for this Grand Prix, hopefully. Oh no, we didn't do any upgrades. Oh wait, we did do one. Excuse me. Oh, an upgrade failed, which is one of a power upgrade, which is not ideal. We needed that because of the long straight for Azerbaijan. Not ideal at all. So we sorted that out, and hope it'll go in time for the British Grand Prix. We also had enough to do another upgrade for the rear wing, so that will go on in time. Fingers crossed for the British Grand Prix, which something we need to do. And we did, and I didn't realize this, but we got a new sponsor objective slot. So we were able to choose one, which was we went for. I can't pronounce it at all, but we went for the objective where you out-qualify your rival, which is ideal because our rival will be Alex Albon, which is a bit realistic considering where we are in the standings. And this game has been patched, and we put the sponsor on our car here, which is nice. We then look at the looking at the performance chart earlier. We are like last on the we're like last somehow, which is not good at all. We're like, I think the 8th quickest team at the time on the last episode, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that wasn't fun. So that's like our last, that's how our season's gone so far. Last, 14th, 10th, didn't finish the last one and finishing 8th. So let's get straight into qualifying. Now, I really do like this track, but for some reason I was really struggling. Since the patch happened, our car has not been very good at all. And we come up to this castle section here. On the flying lap here, I don't always make mistakes here, but I made a mistake here, and it was really, really frustrating. The car just understeers. The setup that I went for was to be quick on the straight, but the cornering was not very good at all. But even with the slightly lowish downforce setup, we still weren't very fast in the straight line. We did 49, we did 45 flat for that, and I wasn't really happy with it. We were pretty much plumb last, and I wanted to go out again, but we were 20th at the time. I wanted to go out again to do another run, and just before we started our lap, we broke 2.8, and it cost us another front wing. This car, its brakes are not very good at all. We will need to invest brake upgrades at some point, but that's a future problem. We went back out again with like 2 minutes and 20 left to spare, and this was really kind of crucial because I don't have much confidence going into this qualifying, so I was just hoping for the best. But just before we started our lap again, we lost our front wing slightly. Great start to the qualifying lap. We had to make do with a slightly damaged front wing, and even with the slightly damaged front wing, we were just not going any faster at all. Even the corners, it's just so much understeer. Even with a slightly damaged front wing, it made it a lot worse. And then we went wide here again, and that was pretty much it. That was our qualifying. and we ended up being plumb last. 3 seconds off. Not good at all. Not good at all. I was kind of expecting better. Hopefully, the rain should spice things up. So let's get into the Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Baku City Circuit then. It's an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Perez, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, Gasly, Ocon, and Yuki Tsunoda, Magnussen, Vettel, Mick Schumacher, and Russell. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Bottas, Stroll, Guan Yu Zhou, and Lando Norris. They've taken a grid penalty. Albon, Oscar Piastri, Latifi, and Phoenix. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
I don't really have much confidence, but we'll get our best shot. So we saw Norris and Russell getting grid penalties early in this season, but I suppose you've got to take them when you can, considering that the Mercedes is fast in the straight. I mean, I wanted to go on hard tyres for this. It works very well in Australia, although it'll be a different track layout. That's all we can really go for. We have got nothing to lose. So the formation lap begins here with Charles Leclerc leading the way, ahead of Verstappen in the Red Bull, and I think Carlos Sainz is third. We're just plumb last, as expected, behind the Williams. This is not a good place at all. I really was hoping to be higher up on the grid, but at the same time, we've got to be realistic. We have got to be realistic. I'm just hoping for the best for this Grand Prix. Hopefully we can get a good haul of points, or even try to get close to the top 10 as best as we can. As you see, these front runners lining up on the grid for the start of this Grand Prix. The 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and we're now underway. And we got a mediocre start, which is not great at all, but at the same time, it's a short run down to turn 1. Everyone brakes super early. We broke late. We cut on the inside. 3 into 1. Did we try and get the move done? No, they're just super fast and straight. We broke super late here to get the momentum. He makes contact with us, literally taking us on a joyride. Thank you. And we get a warning for that, even though he turns straight into us. So we lost momentum. But behind the teammate and the Williams, and I think Albon might have got damaged. So we go around the outside. Our teammate hits the wall. Somehow he's still running, and he makes contact with us. We get ahead of him, just about, and then try and make progress on our race here. And we go, oh my god, we go super wide here, and this terrible turn in, and then our teammate gets a run on us, and he just gets past us. How has he got straight line speed? That makes no sense. Surely my car should be fast on the straight. But yeah, that's what happened. So Albon did get damage on the on his car, and he's pitted for probably a change of front wing, most likely. So for us, we just had to like press on and try and get further into the race. Our tires are still not warmed up, but the lack of grip in this car on these tires is insane. I'm hoping for more upgrades to come by. Oh my goodness me, we went super wide there. Oh, this is not a pleasant experience at all. So as time progressed, our tires did warm up eventually. We can brake super late on the car here, but we understeer. We get another. Oh god, we lost a bit of a front wing. again. The amount of times I've lost my front wing on this track alone is ludicrous. This circuit isn't very forgiving. I'm super wide here again. We're so good on the brakes, on like the start-finish straight, but everywhere else it's just a real struggle. A real struggle indeed. And we do start closing up on the back markers here. Somehow we get a track limit warning. That made no sense. As you can see, Piastri is trying to make a move on Vettel. I don't know why he's down there. He must have not got a very good start at all. So we're trying to press forward, and we are catching up to our teammate. We're quite fast on the corners slightly, but on the straights we're just losing so much time, which isn't ideal at all. So hoping to make amends on this situation here. We get closer. Oh, we go wide.
You serious?
Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
Oh my god. The understeer and partly my lack of judgment ruined this race for us. Wasn't fun at all. Here's the onboard, and we just did not turn in properly. I was more worried about collecting the front wing. So that was our race. Not a good race at all. From the highs of Spain to the lows of Azerbaijan.
Now a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So Charles Leclerc wins the Grand Prix, unlike real life where he unfortunately retired due to like an engine failure. It's just so frustrating. We might have got something out of this race, but I didn't have much confidence at all. And because this was such a short see where the teammate ended up. He ended up in 18th. Unsurprisingly, he somehow was behind the Williams. So we had another another upgrade failed, which is a surprise. It was a nice surprise. And we got this event to do. I didn't quite understand what it meant, but I think it meant if we had higher costs, we might get more money, or lower costs, average money. So in the end, because I didn't know what to expect, I went for the as an experiment. I went for a higher cost to see what kind of results will come into our way. And eventually we would do so, which is right now.
You handled that well. Thank you.
And so we move on from that and to sort out our upgrades, which is a damp failure, which is crucial because we need to improve our time rate. Look at the performance charts. We are like second to last. Thankfully, it's not too bad. And I wanted to upgrade one or two of the facilities because we really need to get more than 2 upgrades on our car. So we upgraded our facility for fabrication on the aerodynamics, and I also upgraded the personnel for the analysis because I wanted our team to get more experience, to get more resource points in. And here's the performance charts. We are still plumb last. And because the race was so short, I decided to go and do another Grand Prix, which was Canada. Another Grand Prix track that I love racing around. And unfortunately, because we've had strict corner cutting, I had encountered a lot of this, which dampened my confidence a lot. So we backed off, and we then went again, and then we cut the corner again. Because I'm so not used to running strict corner cutting, it made it very hard to judge. And this race line here, and we get another one, which ruined everything. That line there on the tire wear is really off-putting, which is really annoying to say the least. So we move on from that, and we get another track limit warning. I don't know how many that I've done on this. This is just ludicrous. We ended up being 10th in the end after doing a qualifying pace. So hopefully hope for things for qualifying. So hopefully things better for qualifying. not going in with much confidence again. And I thought I'd press forward in time and see what other teams do and drivers do, so I can see what kind of benchmark to go for this first qualifying session, because I do personally think that I could get out of qualifying 1. But as we set a lap here, which was an okay lap, the time that we set was a 1 minute 13.3, which puts us 17th, which just outside of the top 16, which is rather close. I won't lie. I was hoping for better, but again, I wasn't having much confidence in the car and the track. Ever since the patch as well. The patch has made this car almost just slow, which isn't what I really wanted for this car. I know we got a long way to go, but that's part of the journey. We are doing a journey, which is the whole point. So we went out again, hoping to do a better lap, but as soon as we got there, we were just slow already. So, which is not ideal. And then we had George Russell coming out of the pit lane, and which put us off, and that ruined my lap as well. We get past him in the end, and we turned around here, and it was just, the lap was already ruined. So I decided to back off in the end to cool the tires down. Well, I eventually back off, which I do, to recharge the battery for as much as I can, and then to cool the tires. But I didn't want to miss out on the end of it. And so we managed to come up to the last 2 corners. We got a better exit out of here to start our second qualifying run. Now, I was too focused on here that I didn't realize that there's a Toro Rosso. Not Toro Rosso, AlphaTauri. I didn't know who it was, but that literally ruined my whole thing. And I don't really like to do this, but I was really happy about that. Because of what happened with the AlphaTauri, I decided to do the whole thing again. Then I gained a little bit more confidence into what to do. So we come across the line, we do a 13.2. A tenth better than what we managed, half a tenth better than what we managed to do in the first session. And again, fast forwarding time, see what other drivers do. We were 13th at the time. So we went out again, and our time was not really good at all. And then we get a track limit warning, which was not fun at all. I swear to God, these track limits really kill the whole thing. I know they're designed to stop drivers from going faster and gaining an advantage, which would be unfair, I get that. But it just sort of takes away the fun, not the fun, but the sort of like the intensity. I know what I'm trying to say, I just can't put it in words. Let me go super wide here, which ruined my lap. But pressing on as much as we can. We were in like the minuses at one point, but then the setup that I also had wasn't helping either. I wanted to go fast in the straight, but at the same time I didn't want to compromise the corners, which wasn't ideal at all. And so we come across the line, and it's it's 18th. We were out of qualifying. Not the best, but we could do much better. We could do so much better. But I wasn't having much confidence in the track. But at least we beat Alex Albon somehow to close in our rivalry. Not good. That's not good fun at all. Not good fun at all. And with that set in mind, we did get some resource points that I forgot to do. And we had a few options. We can do a side pod, which we did do, or we could do the nose, or we could do the chassis here. Now, as I said, I went for the side pods because they will help reduce the drag for this car, which will go on in time, hopefully before Hungary. But it's just such a shame to miss out on Austria. Without further ado, let's get into the Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at this fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than a tenth of a second. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Lando Norris, and Russell, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, and Verstappen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Magnussen, Joe, Sebastian Vettel, and Phoenix, Albon, Stroll, Latifi, and Oscar Piastri. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Now, of course, the last race we didn't do very well on the hard tyre, so I decided to go opposite and start on the mediums in hoping to get further up the field with the faster tyre, because it's a good race tyre, I won't lie. But that was all we can really do. I did think about doing setup, but I couldn't do much. And here's a new interesting feature on here.
Gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
Almost close to the real life thing, which is pretty mad, I must be honest. A really nice feature to have on this game. But at the same time, I would like to warm my tyres up. But the game allows you to do it. You can do the same thing with the pit stop and the safety car. And I must be honest, I really do like this new feature. I don't know why I didn't include it at first, but I think going forward I might leave it on for future episodes, because it's just a nice feature to have, and it's less stressful as well, trying to find the slots for for the cars to go on, and trying to get footage of the formation lap from all the other teams to go for. But without further ado, we're now set up for the Grand Prix. 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and we are now underway for the Grand Prix of Canada. And it was an okay start, and we got, oh my god, we got pulled down by this Aston Martin, and so he hits us. Thanks, mate. And we get a warning for that. How is that fair? He went straight into us. That's not right. Thanks, FIA, for that. So we're now down into 20th. Not the best start, I must be honest, and we went straight to the back of him. Why is it they brake super early? Come on. That's not ideal. We've lost a bit of ground here, and we're trying to make up for the most of it. But Albon lost a bit of momentum there, hoping to get past him, but that straight line speed from the Williams is shocking. Like, I don't understand how they're fast in a straight line. They broke. Oh my god, we went straight into the back of it. We made contact again with another car. They hit on the brakes too much. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. So like I said, we're down in 20th from the first lap, which is kind of too bad. Then the next lap, which I felt like I was starting to close down after the tyres slowly started warming up. But coming up to this part here, well, we go super late. Have to take avoiding action there. Not good fun at all. Here's the replay of the incident. Albon broke super early, we broke super late, and that cost us time, which wasn't helpful at all. Here's the onboard from Albon's rear view. We just managed to avoid him. How the front wing didn't come off amazes me. So after that little scare, we started closing on to Albon. Heading into these last 2 corners, we broke 8 late. Didn't quite make it stick, but we get another run on here. Hoping to get on the side-by-side with the use of the ERS. But we do a dive bomb on the inside. Nicely done. Cut the corner slightly. We somehow didn't get a warning for that. Thank goodness for that. This is the replay footage of the overtake. Nicely done. Up into 19th place, which I think is 19th place. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he's on for footage from us. Just do a late dive bomb on the inside and up into. We eventually get confirmation of where we are at the moment. He's the onboard from George Russell. He's just sort of caught napping. Don't think he expected us to come so far away. I suppose any driver would, to say the least. So we end up being 19th, hoping to press further into this Grand Prix. And just from there, it was a real struggle to keep up and stay with the Aston Martins and the Alfa Romeo. It wasn't fun at all, considering that they're so fast in the straight. Which meant Alex Albon was able to close in on us ever so slowly. Coming in, another track limit warning for that, which doesn't make sense. And so we went wide, got a terrible exit. Albon's right on our backside. He goes on to the outside, which will be the outside of the turn 1. We kept the inside, just managed to hold him off slightly. Just about recovered from that. Anyways, we managed to press on forward, away from Alex Albon. We go straight into the corner. We went wide, almost. And Albon's also, again, right on our backside. He goes on the outside, tries the same maneuver. He's a lot further. So we try and go around the inside again, just holding him off for the second time round. Oof. This is almost becoming a Phoenix versus Albon scenario. We are rivals, don't get me wrong, but even still. Oh my god, another track limit warning. And we get one more, and it's a time penalty. And they're coming up to the same corner again, and. Oh, come on!
Okay, we've been given a time penalty.
I hate track limits.
Get your head down and let's get it done.
I hate it. I understand why they're employed, but how's that a track limit warning? That I don't understand. I'm literally being screwed over with all these track limit warnings. Oh my god. I understand why they're employed. Daniel Ricciardo's now out of the Grand Prix. It's surprising, to say the least, to see how reliable the McLaren is. We go super wide in, and we get another track limit warning. Oh my god. This is becoming a track limit warning fest here. And we go wide and...
You serious?
How do we get a track limit warning from there? We went wide and went straight into the barrier and then got front wing damage slightly. And Albon gets ahead of us and we get another one. So that's 6 seconds added to our time. With no hope of finishing ahead of Albon. No hope at all. This has not been the race that was went according to plan. I've been very much concentrating on this track and trying super hard not to get any corner cuts. But it's been super impossible. So we head into the pits, hoping that the team will change the front wing. Because we are losing a bit of time in the corners with the understeer. And I have adjusted the front wing slightly to get some more front end grip. But they didn't change the front wing. They just changed the setup and didn't change the front wing. Thanks guys and girls. Not very helpful at all. Not very helpful at all. And we get another track limit warning, which pretty much summed up the rest of the Grand Prix.
Oh my god!
Just summed it all up in one Grand Prix. Track limit warning fest. And another one. I don't know how many times I've done track limit warnings, but it was to the point where it was just really frustrating. Super frustrating that, well, it was just frustrating. So we come around to this next corner here, and we're going to be wide.
Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
Shit! Oh boy, we went straight into the wall of champions. And that was a race to forget. You see another replay from the other angle. We just went wide and went straight into the barrier. Oh my god, if only the team changed the front wing. Back-to-back retirements. Not the way to finish it.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So, being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls, gentle on the tyres, that's where the race was won today.
come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
Sergio Perez managed to win the Grand Prix, which was a bit surprising. I would have thought Charles Leclerc would win it, considering where they are in the championship. But a good race win for Perez. Managed to hold off the Ferraris of Leclerc and Sainz. And yeah, just seemed like a good race for them. As for us, it was a diabolical race. Just defeating. It was a race to forget. And our teammate didn't do much better. It was just awful. So there you have it. This was the episode. Back-to-back races. Both retirements. Very annoying, but that's the way it goes. Well, hopefully for much better at our home Grand Prix, Silverstone. Without further ado, hopefully the upgrades will come on in time for the Grand Prix, and it will work for us. And I'll see you all in the next one. See you all at the Praise Grand Prix.